What's up, Brian Tong here, and I know you might be rolling your eyes at this video title because are we really talking about the iPhone 17 and this iPhone 17 Slim already before the iPhone 16 even comes out? Well, you still clicked on it, but look, I'm gonna make this worth talking about, and I did mention in my previous videos that with iOS 18's Apple Intelligence features being reportedly pushed out to 2025, that the next big super cycle iPhone upgrade is set to happen with the iPhone 17 and not the 16. So let's get to it and the other Apple news this week. We're starting to put together a clearer picture of Apple's iPhone direction next year, that's 2025, based on multiple reports and rumors. Leaker Ice Universe and others have come to the agreement that Apple will discontinue the Plus model in 2025 and instead will introduce an all-new iPhone 17 Slim, which will be positioned as an even higher end option above the iPhone 17 Pro Max in Apple's iPhone lineup. The alleged iPhone 17 model's display sizes and pricing could look like this. Again, we're talking about 2025 with the iPhone 17 family, but I'm bringing this up because this would be a fundamental change to Apple's iPhone lineup. Now you'll see the iPhone 17 with a 6.27-inch LTPO display. The entire lineup will be OLED displays. Then the iPhone 17 Pro with the same size display, but with Pro features and a $300 difference in price. Then you got the iPhone 17 Pro Max with a 6.86-inch display, and then this new iPhone 17 Slim with a 6.65-inch display. And these are all LTPO displays for the first time, which means we should see ProMotion OLED across the entire iPhone 17 lineup finally. Now the iPhone 17 Slim also, it aligns with Bloomberg's recent reports of Apple's new direction to bring thinner devices with the same battery performance while bringing new features and capabilities. Look, the M4 iPad Pro, that was the first sign of this new design direction, and it is an absolute stunning piece of hardware. The iPhone 17 Slim will follow this and reportedly become the new flagship phone with a reported $1,299 price point. Sheesh. Now, reports are unclear of what features it will have right now, but it can't just be a slimmer Pro model. It's going to have to be more significant to be a flagship model. Now, if we look at what the 17 Pro lineup is expected to have, it will reportedly feature 12 gigs of unified memory, a triple 48-megapixel rear camera system, and an A19 Pro chip. This render isn't final, but Mac Rumors does play with the idea of it adopting a Google Pixel-like camera array, that bar on top, if the reports are true. Now, whether the new flagship is slim or not, the iPhone 17 still feels like a more significant big upgrade year to me. Combine the new rumored slim design, a new camera arrangement, display improvements across the entire lineup, a slimmed down and smaller dynamic island, and fast performing chips. That sounds like a big enough change to get me interested. And again, this is based on multiple reports, and we have until September 2025 to find out how this all comes together. But if true, does this idea of an iPhone 17 Slim, does it move the needle for you at all? Does the potential rollout of the full version of Apple Intelligence, which is rumored to be in 2025, also have you looking towards next year for the next big upgrade for you? Or is this iPhone Slim talk just crazy talk to you? Hey, let me know in the comments because it could be a big shakeup to Apple's iPhone lineup and something that they really need to generate a new interest in it. Now, a report by The Information also claims Apple's planning to release at least one iPhone 17 model with a mechanical aperture. That would allow users to manually adjust the opening of the camera lens to allow more or less light in. Now, currently all iPhones have fixed apertures, and we've seen other phones have this mechanical aperture feature before, but it would be a first for Apple. Now, manually setting a smaller aperture could allow more photos to be shot with a depth of field effect beyond the portrait mode, which is artificially generated and not done by just the camera alone. The effect would be a more natural looking photo with true depth of field. And this mechanical aperture feature could be limited to only certain models of the iPhone 17 family because that's what Apple always does. And maybe it's saved for the Slim model, but we're gonna have to wait and see. And sure, the reports are calling it Slim now, but once this thing actually comes out, doesn't it feel like they will just call it the iPhone 17 Ultra? I'm pretty sure they will. Now, these camera plans could change. We're over a year out and just 2 months away from the iPhone 16 lineup, but that's what we're hearing right now. Okay, I got that all out, but I thought it was really interesting. It was worth talking about. But should we come back down to earth now? Yeah, okay. Now, I still think I had to talk about what's cooking with the iPhone 17 lineup, but let's talk about products that are a little closer to releasing. Now, I'll have an entire breakdown video of what to expect from the iPhone 16 lineup, which is just 2 months away, like I said, and there's a whole lot there, so I'm not going to ignore that. But right now, let's talk about the iPhone SE 4, which is rumored to launch early next year. The next SE is expected to get significant upgrades according to leaker Ice Universe. The information was posted on Weibo along with the details of the iPhone 17 lineup that we talked about. Now, this 4th gen iPhone SE will finally ditch Touch ID and the Lightning port and bring Face ID and USB-C to the phone for the very first time. The display will reportedly increase in size from 4.7 inches to 6.06 inches and feature an OLED display for the first time. I don't know about y'all, but every time we talk about larger screens, I still think there's a place for the iPhone Mini Pro. I'm just saying, maybe one day. Now, we're expecting to see an A18 chip inside this SE, just like the iPhone 16 lineup, with 6 to 8 gigs of memory and an aluminum body and a single rear 48 megapixel camera. A new report, though, claims it will use the same rear aluminum chassis as the iPhone 16, so the SE is getting a significantly long overdue overhaul, and if this is the case, maybe it could change the current reports that it will be using a single camera because, look, the iPhone 16 reportedly has a vertically aligned dual camera system, but they also still need to differentiate the SE, and for most people, a single camera is just fine on an SE at the level of quality that these cameras perform at now. Now, this new 4th gen iPhone SE will reportedly launch between March and May of 2025 with a price point of $499 to $549, but Apple, they're trying to keep it under $500 at $499. And if you're wondering, where is Apple's foldable phone? Well, the information also reports that Apple is still working on a clamshell design iPhone, similar to Samsung's Galaxy Z Flip smartphone. They just released the 6th model, and it has contacted suppliers for components for their version. It could be released as early as 2026, and I recently talked about how Apple is also working on a foldable MacBook type product in another video. A phone, to me, makes a lot more sense. It's a lot more approachable, but Apple is reportedly finally moving forward, and the device has been given the codename V68 inside of Apple's walls. Now, the biggest obstacle is reducing the crease on the phone. We've heard reports that that has been the challenge that Apple's been trying to get rid of. We've seen the industry as a whole try to reduce that crease because, you know, it is foldable, but if it doesn't meet Apple's standard, I could also see this product not happening at all. So if it happens or not, we'll know in a few years. But for me, if we're talking phones and devices, with everything Apple has shown us, we need Apple Intelligence to get here ASAP. Because right now, that is the most transformative thing that they can give us if it works out the way that they showed us at WWDC. And I say if, really big, we haven't seen it in action because in the current betas, there's still no sign of the new Apple Intelligence features at all. Apple did say new features would roll out throughout the year, and we'll take their word for it, but you can't expect a system like that to just work flawlessly on day one. I mean, this is complex stuff, which is, again, exactly why I think 2025 is really positioned to be a super cycle iPhone upgrade year when the software and the new hardware is finally ready at the same time. All right, what else is happening in the Apple world? Well, reports from Bloomberg say Apple is cutting back on its spending for their Apple TV Plus platform, and I have talked about it highly, and I consistently believe that they have the best quality of overall streaming content out there from top to bottom, but it doesn't matter what I say if no one is watching. Apple reportedly has invested over $20 billion in original programming, and congrats to the people who got paid, but it's had limited success. Apple TV Plus has had a very difficult time gaining any significant market share, accounting for reportedly only 0.2% of TV viewership in the US compared to Netflix's 8%. So you have these critically acclaimed shows like Ted Lasso and The Morning Show and so many more, and Apple TV Plus generates less viewing in 1 month than what Netflix does in 1 day. Yikes. So look, Apple spent for the service. We know this because pretty much every high-profile celebrity has been on the platform, and they did because they got paid, but they really became what I call the PG-13 HBO in streaming, and that's a great position to be in if people are watching. Now, even if I can't find something to watch on Netflix, like, trust me, you just keep scrolling like, what am I going to watch now? I just always found something that was worth my time on Apple TV Plus because I knew the quality of programming. Ted Lasso, easily, it was the most watched streaming show of 2023. and it still didn't make a difference in the big picture. Many people probably tried out the service just for the show or used their free 3-month trial from buying an Apple product and just didn't come back. But if you look at Apple TV Plus, it entered the market at 2019, really at a time where consumers were already getting subscription fatigue. If you don't have it already, trust me, we all do. And then you got the pandemic and tighter spending by consumers. Another streaming service was probably the last thing people were looking to spend on, no matter how good it is. And then they aren't just competing against that, but you got other forms of entertainment like YouTube, what you're watching right now. You got gaming, live streaming, all of that. So now Apple TV Plus is reportedly planning to be a little more selective, not $20 billion selective anymore, right? So they will still spend on something like The Morning Show, where Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon each earn more than $2 million per episode. Congrats to y'all. But the golden era of streaming, it's over, right? It's now basically become like cable TV. It's more expensive if you add all these services up. Some people rotate and bounce in between a service when a specific show is back up, but these streaming services are still increasing prices while offering the same amount or now even less compelling content. Netflix. So no matter how many good things that I've said about Apple TV Plus, which I still love, I even just finished up Dark Matter. I love that show. But if people aren't watching, and I'm really curious how many of you watching this video right now and sticking with me are even subscribed to Apple TV Plus. Tell me in the comments. It's worthwhile for me as part of the Apple One bundle service, but I would be the first to say that I wouldn't get it as a standalone streaming service because it would be just another additional cost. You think of, most of us have maybe 3, Netflix, I got HBO Max, I got Disney Plus, Amazon Prime. That's just because I use Amazon. So another one is just another cost. I just don't think I would do it unless I was doing the bundle. So I want to know your thoughts on this too. Put it in there. Lots to talk about. iPhone 17 Slim. I really want to hear what you say. And then Apple TV Plus. All right. That is going to do it for this video. If you like what you see, give me that thumbs up, subs up, and hit that notification bell, ding, to get all my latest videos when they drop. And if you want more of that Apple goodness, you can check out my weekly Apple Bits XL audio podcast with the latest stories and special guests. Plus, you can support all my content with an ad-free version of the podcast, early access to my content, and exclusive content at patreon.com/BrianTong. So thanks so much for watching. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace and love.